Well, first of all, Robbie, let me congratulate you on your documentary.
Thank you so much.
I can't say but admire your braveness in opening such a painful but yet celebrating now phase of your life.
Thank you. Thank you. That means a lot. I don't know why I'm getting emotional.
I know watching it, all I could think about was because I have one brother, um, and and then I kept thinking about your story as I was watching and thinking about my brother, and I'm just like, you know, life happens. The circle of life, unfortunately, really sucks.
Yeah. Yeah.
But you have all these moments, all this archive that you did find. So when I saw that you covered that in the documentary, it was very exciting for you.
Yeah. Yeah. It was amazing to get to, you know, figure out it, and it took a couple of years, but um to just through the process of this find a way to continue living with him present with me loss is very tough, especially loss, an early loss, unexpected, and to be able, everybody goes through it differently, but it was so, it felt so, I don't know what the word is, not empowering, for lack of a better word, but just to be able to figure out how to continue and keep him present with me. Because it took a while. In the beginning, it was like, I grew up with a very close-knit family, and my older brother and the twins and I, the four of us were super, super close. And they were always my, talking about my siblings and asking people about their siblings is always my favorite topic. And then after Mars died, meeting new people it was so tough to just figure out how to talk about myself, because every time I talked about myself, I always included my brothers. Um, it was really hard. So for the first 2 years, I kind of just didn't talk about it. And going through the process of making this movie and figuring out how to keep him there with me, and how to share him and share how big of a presence he is in my life all the time and in all of our lives, felt very, yeah, just it just helped. It helped my grieving process. It helped, um it's something that's a continuous thing for people that have experienced loss. The grief never goes away. We just kind of like learn to live around it, and doing the film, uh and continuing to get, to share it, and to get to share everything that I learned from him, and with new people, feels like how a little tiny bit close to, how I got to meet new people for the first time and gush about my brothers and how great they were. And it's like, if we're bonding now, I can't wait till you meet my brothers. You're gonna love them. And so I get to do that, a version of that now with this, and that feels really great.
Well, I get to miss Alejandro. I thought we were gonna have him.
Yes, yes. He was running late. I'm so sorry.
It's okay.
Yeah.
I'm sure there'll
Yeah,
be more
no,
projects
if
you
you,
work with.
sorry.
I'm sure you'll have more projects you guys will work together in.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, we got to do, while we were doing this one, we did another short that we co-directed together that was also, for Independent Lens. And we have the next project that we're working on, and we have our older brother involved. And yeah, we're super excited. We're working with our cousin, who's also, an actor, and works in film and is a writer. And so it's super exciting to just continue to make excuses to hang out with my family and my
Well,
brothers. Yeah.
that's exciting. You get to do what you love as a family affair.
Yeah. 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 It was our childhood dream, and it was, I feel like, doing this movie with Alex, with our older brother Paco helping out here and there, and with Mars's footage and his archive, it just felt like he was guiding me. We were using his camera, and there were just so many moments, that final shot that we have at the end, of the movie, that's just kind of going through the board, getting to show you the border. We had tried that for 5 years. That was the final year that we did it. And I was on the bridge with the camera, and Alex was on the Mexican side, just coordinating, the people that were over there. And Paco was, our older brother, was on the American side. And then I was like, this is the last year we can do this. I'm like, Mars, please give us the best light. And he did. It just felt so just special. The light was the most beautiful sunset that we ever had, of like the 5 years that we tried it. And it finally worked. And I felt like there were just so many moments like that, where it just felt like we all got to make this movie together, like we always dreamed. So yeah, it's super special.
I'm sure Mars was present all throughout it and was enjoying it and probably had a kick of the song, credit song. Was that Baco?
Yeah. Yeah, he would have loved that. He was the most picoso, just like Paco, just kind of like always just messing with you and trying to, yeah, he's so funny. He was the prankster of all of us. And so he would have loved that. He just loved making fun of me too.
I love it. And I love how you're so open to it and you including it in your documentary. I was like, gosh, I want to be part of that family.
Well, I have to say, I have to give the credit to our editor, Chloe Abrahams. She came in to help us finish the movie, and and one of the cuts that she sent us to watch when we were just kind of like going back and forth, and sending cuts off back and forth to each other, it had that at the end, and I was like, Chloe, no, this is so, like, it was in the movie at some point, but then we just cut it out, and then she's like, no, this has to stay in there. And yeah, I mean, we had to keep Baco there.
Yeah. Kudos, Chloe.
Yeah. Thank you, Chloe.
So one of the parts that I really enjoyed was the part where it says like being Mexican is like the one cool memo, that some people got, some people missed. And
Yeah.
especially in this time with everything that's going on, the timing couldn't be perfect.
Yeah, I mean, I think that this is just kind of, the experience of our home, of our specific border. It's like, Eagle Pass, Piedras Negras, in that tiny little community, the social clout is like how close you are to Mexicanity. And that's how, at least that's how I experienced. A lot of my friends and family, our brothers experienced it. And there's just, such an appreciation for the culture, and for, you know, the traditions, the language, obviously, and but there's always this push and pull from being, on the margins of these two beautiful, powerful countries with big cultures on either side. And so, it's hard to navigate that. You want to be cool on both sides. And I think that what was beautiful of going back and just kind of re-experiencing childhood, but as an adult, and getting to see all of this, was how beautiful it was to be both, and to not have to choose, and to just get to settle in that. And just how that is, this little microcosm of what makes up our country. We're all hyphen American in some way. We all come from somewhere. We all bring something. And that's what, the remixes that all of us are, the hybrids, what's created in that in between space is just, we're the sum of all of these beautiful parts. And I think that's something that felt so special to celebrate and so special to share. Um, for especially for everybody that's from, the border, it's something that we don't get to see represented of ourselves. And, especially in this time, it's there's so much, even back then I grew up with this shame of like, what is this tiny little place? I can't wait to get out. I can't wait to reinvent myself and be cool. And I thought I was at a deficit and I had to build up to be a better version of myself when I already came with something so amazing, this sort of superpower that we get from being on the border, from getting to be, you know, chameleons and understanding you know, how the gray space works and not live in this black and white binary that we usually get pulled into societally. And so yeah, I think right now this to us, this is a love letter to home. This is a love letter to, my brother, my family, our community, and it's also an invitation for everyone that hasn't been able to experience the border yet, to get to visit it, because it's such a beautiful part of, our American landscape. It's there for us. And we don't, I know that people don't usually get to feel invited, but our communities are so friendly and so there's so much ambiente, there's so much fiesta. Like every time people come, it's like we're excited because it's hard to get to, we're like 2.5 hours away from San Antonio. You have to fly there to Austin to get to Eagle Pass. So to us, anyone coming to visit, even all the reporters, even all the, all the military that gets sent there, it's like everybody just gets excited for people to come anyway. You're like, great, you're here, let's take you to these tacos. Like, have you been to Piedras yet? Have you been here? And it's just, I think that, there's not enough of that. It's, to me, this is like, sort of my work for the tourism offices from both sides, for people to come and get to experience it themselves, because it's an amazing place to visit.
Well, it's going to be added to my places to visit then. Go to visit a border and maybe Eagle Pass one day.
Yeah, you should. The nacho was invented there. It was invented on the Mexican side, and every year they have a big celebration called Nacho Fest, where they make the world's largest nacho. And it's the best celebration. And I think that, to me, I'm like, everybody should go and visit and have real original nachos the way that they were meant. And yeah, it's such a
Oh,
beautiful.
sounds like I've been cheated all my life with nachos. Well,
Yeah.
thank you so much, Robbie, for your time. And I'm going to conclude with something that a page you shared from our sis journal. I appreciate everything. Welcome the good, welcome the bad. So I love that. And that's definitely something we should keep in mind and just to live the fullest.
Thank you so much, Nancy. I really appreciate that. Thank
You're
you.
welcome. Thank you.